Okay, guys, I'm here doing a practice test 4 for you. So this is practice test 4, part 1. All right, which of the following polar equations is represented by the graph of a horizontal line? For A is greater than 0, B is greater than 0, C is greater than 0. So horizontal line would be y, and y is the same thing as cosine, so that would be A. No, x is the same thing as cosine, y is the same thing as sine. So for number 1, y gives you a horizontal line. I don't really need to write all this up for you. We just chose D. Okay, number 2. A is 53 degrees, B is 67 degrees, and B is 16. Solve the triangle. So we have to decide if it's law of sines or law of cosines. But since we have an angle and the side opposite, it is law of sines. So that's sine of 67 over 16 is equal to sine of 53 over, we'll do A first. Well, I guess we should find the angle of C first. You know what? I don't have a calculator. Let me go grab one. Y'all can fast forward through this. I'll be just a second. I'll find one. I'm back. So 180 minus 53 minus 67 is 60. So angle C is 60 degrees. That it? Then we can do the rest. Okay, so here we go, working it out. A times sine of 67 is equal to 16 times sine of 53 divided by sine of 67. So A equals, I'm going to put this in the calculator, but I'm going to put this in parentheses, then divided by this in parentheses just to make sure it does correct order of operations. So let's see if I could slide this over here so y'all can see. Okay. Parentheses 16. Kind of hard to see. I'll let me put it now. I don't know if y'all can see that very good. Times sine of 53, and make sure your calculator is in degrees too. Divided by sine of 67 equals, I got 13.88, and it says round to 1 decimal place. So 13.9 would be A. And then I'm still going to use sine B because that's what they gave for sure. Side A is a rounded answer, so don't use A. So now I'm going to use sine of 67 over 16 again is now equal to sine of 60 over little c. So C times sine of 67 is equal to 16 times sine of 60, again, divided by sine of 67. So C equals, since I showed you how to enter it once, I'm not going to stick the calculator under there, but you do the same way. And I got 15.05, so that rounds to 15.1. So we type those in. A, we got 13.9. C, we got 15. Law of sines. Okay, number 3, this is the lesson we just did with polar equation. So the equation r squared 100 times 2 is in the form blah, blah, blah. What is the length of each loop. So I'm pretty sure you take, so make sure I'm not telling you wrong, the square root of A. Yes, so square root of 100 is 10. So the length is 10 units. Just writing this down so when we go back to check, I know what we did. What values of theta do the endpoints for each loop occur? Well, because it's sine, the endpoints happen at pi-4 and 5 pi-4. Okay, sketch the graph. So I need the one that goes to 10 and it happens at 5. So this one, B. Oh wait, but it is 2 theta. Yeah, it's supposed to be 2 theta. Okay, just make sure. Okay, so I'm gonna just write this down. Pi-4 and 5 pi-4, and we picked B. Okay, number 4. Scroll it up for you guys. Okay, the following exercise, two sides and an angle are given. Determine whether the information results in no triangle, one triangle, or two triangles. This is when you're supposed to find sine of B. So here you use law of sines. So we got sine of 39 over 10.1 is equal to sine of B over 8.6. So do a little math and get 8.6 times sine of 39 is equal to 10.1 times sine of B. Divide by 10.1. So then you're literally putting this in the calculator right here. And again, I use parentheses here. So 8.6 times sine of 39 equals divided by 10.1. Right, so I got 0.5358 is equal to sine of B. That means its sine of B is less than 1. Right? So since sine of B is less than 1, it's one or two triangles. Okay, hang on, I gotta pause it for just a minute. Okay, sorry, baby woke up, had to go get her real quick. But I'm back. Okay, so when it's less than 1, it's one or two oblique triangles. If it equals 1, it's one triangle. And if it's bigger than 1, it's too big, so it's no triangle. So now you have to figure out, is it 1 or is it 2? So you gotta find out what B would be. So then you just take this and plug it in as sine inverse. So you would do sine inverse of that answer. And you can just use the answer the calculator gives you, but to write it out right here, I'm using what I rounded to, is equal to B. So sine inverse of that answer, and I got B is 32.4. So for sure B1 is this, no matter what. To find out if we have 2, you do 180 minus B1. So 180 minus 32.4 is 147.6. So if there is a second triangle, this would be B2. How do you know if you have a second triangle? You have to add this plus A, which is 39 degrees in this problem. But this plus 39 is 186.6. Well, a triangle can only have 180 degrees. So B2 is too big. It's not two triangles. It's just one. So I hope y'all remember that's from like chapter 9. Not really sure what lesson it was, but y'all remember that. So here our answer is A, there's only one triangle, and B is equal to 32.4. All right, number 5. I'm gonna have to move this a little bit because there's a picture. Oh yay, these were fun. Okay, so a mine shaft with circular center has been carved in the side of a mountain. It wants us basically to find the opening. So we've got 2 triangles. So let's do the big one first. So I have adjacent and I'm looking for opposite. So we need tangent. So tangent of 39 is equal to, we'll call it x1, which would be this whole side length right here. And then we'll have to subtract at the end. So x1 over 300 feet. Okay, and then tangent of 37.7 is equal to x2 over 300 feet. So x2 would just be the shorter part. So then we would subtract at the end. So right here, I'm going to do 300 times tan of 39 and get my x1. Over here, I'm going to do 300 times tangent of 37.7 and get my x2. Again, calculator needs to be in degrees, but I'm just plugging it in. 300 times tangent of 39 is 242 point, it says round to 2 decimal places, so 94. And 300 times tan of 37.7 is 231.87 is x2. So now I'm just subtracting x1 minus x2. So 242.94 minus 231.87. And I got 11.07. All right, number 6. Okay, solve the right triangle given the information. So it gives me B and C, so I'm going to use Pythagorean theorem to go ahead and find that last angle. So 34 squared minus 27 squared is A squared. So 34 squared minus 27 squared is 427. And then square root that. I don't think it's a perfect square. No, it says round to 2 decimal places. So this is 20.66 is A. Okay, and since it's a right triangle, you can use your trig functions to find the angles. So because I have B and C, that's what they give me, that's what I'm going to use. So if I'm going to do A first, let's just go in alphabetical order. I have adjacent and hypotenuse, so I have to use cosine. So cosine of A is equal to 27 over 34. So you're literally just putting in cosine inverse 27 over 34 in your calculator. So cosine inverse 27 divided by 34. And I got 37.4 is equal to angle A. Now for angle B, you can just subtract. 90 minus 37.4 is 52.6. So that's B and this is A. This is little a. And you can check it by doing sine of 27 over 34 if you want, and I'll do it real quick in my calculator just to make sure. Ooh. Oh, I did 30. I was like, I got a different answer, but I typed it wrong. 27 divided by 34. Yes, I get 52.6 as well. So either one, you could do A or B first and then just subtract. So 37.4 is A and 52.6 is B. Okay. Okay, number 7. Okay, these are from our polar coordinates we just did. Plot the point given the polar coordinates below. So it's 5 and 5 pi over 3. 5 pi over 3 is in quadrant 4 and it hits 5. So five pi over 3 should be in quadrant 4 over here. A. Sorry, didn't see it. Okay, so A. And remember, if the R is negative, you go in the opposite quadrant. And make it straight. Okay, what are the coordinates when R is greater than theta? So R is still positive. So this is part A. So I know that my R is still 5. And now it's saying that my angle is negative. Well, it's got to be what goes right here. That would be negative pi over 3 if it went this way. So right here, I have 5 and 5 pi. Oh, what am I doing? Negative pi over 3. Okay. Because that's literally just counting down, negative pi over 3. Okay, scrolling. I'm going to go ahead and move this up. And scroll this down. What are the coordinates when R is negative and your angle is positive? So now that R is negative, it's supposed to end up on the opposite side. So basically that's right here. What is this theta? So if this is 3, this would be 2 pi over 3. So negative 5 and 2 pi over 3. Oops, all caps lock. 2 pi divided by 3. There we go. And finally, part C is on R is positive, so we're back to positive 5, and it goes all the way around full circle. So that means it's going all the way around once, and then all the way back around again. So it's at a 3, so if I go all the way around once is 6, 3 more is 9, all the way around would have been 12, so 1 less than that is 11 pi over 3. And if you don't like counting like I did, you can literally just add 2 pi to the original one, which is 5 pi over 3. 5 plus 6 is 11. That makes sense. All right, number 8. Okay, and the following exercise, 2 sides in the, okay, so we got to find sine B again. This is just like the other one. So I have sine of 121 over 23 is equal to sine B over 28. So 28 times sine of 121 is equal to 23 times sine B, and I'm going to divide by 23. So putting all this in your calculator, top half in parentheses. So 28 times sine of 121 divided by 23. And I got 1.01, which is bigger than 1, so that's no triangle. So you can click no triangle here and no solution for C. Okay, number 9. Solve the oblique triangle figures on. I gotta move this apparently. Yes. Okay, so we have side angle side, which means we have to use law of cosines. So let me see if I can remember. We got c squared is equal to a squared plus b squared minus 2ab cosine c. I remember it is right. So let's plug it in. We got 36 plus 64 minus 2 times 6 times 8 cosine of 95 degrees. So 36 plus 64 is 100 minus 2 times 6 times 8 is 96 cosine of 95 degrees. So I'm going to plug all that in the calculator. I guess I can kind of show you. So 100 minus 96 times cosine of 95 close equals that, but then I got to take the square root of it. So answer equals 10.41, round to one decimal place, so 10.4. So C is equal to 10.4. Okay, and then now that you have the side opposite, you can use log cosines, which is what I like to do because it's easier. So I have sine of 95 over 10.4 is equal to sine of A over 6. So 6 times sine of 95 is equal to, I'm just going to go ahead and divide. I'm pretty sure you'll know how to do the algebra. 10.4 sine of A. Okay, so in the calculator, you're putting it in to sine inverse. So 6 times sine of 95 divided by 10.4 equals, and then sine inverse of that is 3.5. So A is equal to 35.1 degrees. And then because we have two of the angles, we can just subtract. So for, let's put boxes around this real quick. For B, you're just going to do 95 plus 35.1. And it's 130.1, and just subtract that from 180. I can't right now, baby. Go ask Daddy, okay? Okay. 49.9 degrees is B. 49.9. I'm going to do one more for this part because, as you can hear, my kids are up. Okay, determining the area specified. So we got to use the formula. I kind of forgot it, honestly, so I'm going to have to look it up. Give me just a second. Area is 1/2 BC sine of A, or you can switch them around based off what you got. So I have only one side length and 2 angles. So we might have to get another side length before we can use this formula. Pretty much. Okay, so let's find A first. So 68 plus 64 is 132. 180 minus 132 is 48. So angle A is equal to 48 degrees. Okay, well, I really need either B or C, it doesn't matter. So let's do sine of 48 over 14 is equal to sine of 64 over B. So 14 times sine of 64 divided by sine of 48 is equal to B. 14 times sine of 64 divided by sine of 48. I got it. 16.9 is little b. Oh, 9.3 because it says 2 decimal places. Is little b. So now that I have 2, I can use the area formula. So area is equal to 1/2 times 16.93 times 14. Those are the 2 side lengths I have. And since this was B and A, I have to use sine of the angle, not one of those 2. So sine of C, which is 68. So I'm actually, on here I wrote 61.93, but I'm going to use the answer given. I'm going to start with that. And then I'm just going to multiply times 14 times sine of 68. And then divide that by 2. And I had area is 109.895, which is going to round me up to 0.90. So 109.90 square kilometers. All right, there we go. Part 1. I'll come back and do another part later.